What's going on, guys? So in today's episode, we're taking another step away from the reptile world and we're coming over to the fish world. And we're in one of your rooms here at your house. This is kind of like your media relaxing room.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, for sure.
So he's got a giant fish tank in here.
That's the biggest thing, is the relaxing part of this room is the fish tank.
But before we get into that, I know you guys are probably gonna ask, who are these cute dogs behind us? I mean, so Kyle, what do we have?
My dogs. So these are essentially the complete opposite of the animals I deal with, you know, with the at the sanctuary. So essentially I have crazy crocodiles, and we have venomous snakes, and then I have fluffy doodles.
Yeah, so you got Bumper.
Yep, he's 4 years old. Tucker is 6.5, and Dasher is 10 months.
So you just make it simple with the at every name, just
Tucker, Bumper, Dasher. Yep. And the thing is, like, you know, sticking with the reptiles, I'm allergic to dogs and cats. Not as much anymore, but when I was younger I was. So obviously these guys being hypoallergenic, it is super nice because they don't shed at all. So they are awesome dogs. They really are like people in a dog's body. So, you know, I just like it to be simple and easy. You know, these guys are super awesome. So when I'm dealing with the crocs, you know, it's just something
stress-free.
Yeah, exactly.
An animal that doesn't want to kill you.
Exactly. You know, this is what I consider a pet. I will never consider crocodiles as pets because this animal I trust 100%. The crocodiles, you can never trust them, no matter how much you work with them.
And then you got this giant wall of fish.
Yes. So this is a 750-gallon saltwater tank. So this is 10 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot, and this is a reef tank. So you can see all the live rock, there's all different corals, and then a giant anemone on top. And all these fish in here, I wanted to go with something more sustainable. So everything in here is either captive bred or it is essentially rehomed or rescue. So I made an exception for rehoming and rescue because it's not supporting the importation and the wild caught industry,
and the destructive part of saltwater keeping, where they just go and they just catch as many fish as they can and decimate populations for the pet trade.
Yeah, so most of these are captive bred. So the Cardinal Fish, the yellow tang,
and the Cardinal Fish are these little angel-like fish kind of things.
Yes, yeah, those are the Cardinal Fish. I believe they're yeah.
And people know the tangs from Finding Nemo.
Yellow tangs. Well,
was there a yellow tang?
I don't know if there were.
Well, there's this is what, powder blue?
Powder blue.
So it's not Dory, but it's similar.
No, that one and then this tang here were both rehomed. So the guy had this one, the guy had a 250-gallon aquarium, and it was
obviously outgrown that.
Yeah, so this is a 750.
I mean, even in the 750, he doesn't look like very small, but he's also like it still fits him good. But yeah, I mean, for 250, that he looks a little tight.
But this tank is about 1.5 years old, so all the coral has really started to take off. It was funny because put them in, and it just took a while for them to really start to slowly grow, and then all of a sudden it was just like, you know, it looked like you put fertilizer on everything. It just exploded.
And what's that one over there? There's a little down there, the little neon
I don't know. I'm not a coral connoisseur.
Well, maybe someone on here knows. I mean, that thing is bright.
I like it. I buy it, and we put it in here.
That thing's cool too.
I do have a service that comes and takes care of this, just because, again, crocodiles and freshwater setups are my forte for sure. Saltwater are a little more difficult, a lot more time consuming. So I'd rather just, you know, have this where I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is beautiful too. Oh, let me step back so you can see it.
Get in here and do whatever maintenance you need to do.
You can actually service it. Let's get you up there and show you guys what we're working with.
So we got crazy lights. Again, I don't know all the details of it, but all the specifics, but it's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's awesome.
So,
like, hold on, before we go into your little den, look at that wall, guys. I mean, who wouldn't want that in their house? That is freaking sweet. We'll walk over, check out Kyle's little den, but before we get there, another little thing here. So there's some of those cichlids from Timmy's Pond. So if you watch that video, we caught some of the little babies out, and there are some little turtles swimming around. So it's a little turtle tank. It looks like most of them are hidden. There's one underneath there. And then they have this nice little basking area.
Map turtle over there.
Little map turtle.
Yep.
Get you guys in there. That guy right there, sitting right there. And then they can obviously just cruise up here and bask. So that's perfect for them. And then here's kind of the back side, the working side of the tank.
So you can see all the filtration. So essentially the water, all the water, each side has an overflow here, overflow box.
What is, hold on. You're not showing the people.
I can't show you too much.
Show the people. Oh,
So you got
show too
overflow
much?
box.
Okay, so
Yeah,
overflow.
I will. Overflow box drains out in there into filter pads.
Okay, let me go over there so I can give
Yeah.
you guys closer,
Work your way
closer
down.
view. Yeah. So, all right. So what do we got here first?
So the water drains all down here,
Yeah.
and it goes through here, just aerates the water, comes up, goes over the filter pad,
Okay.
and then through here you can put more filter pads if need be. This is a, I know I'm gonna get ridiculed for it, but I think that's a refugium.
It says a fuge light.
I think it is.
So, yeah, whatever fuge light means.
That is refugium. So beneficial bacteria and algae grow there and eat the waste.
So there's like, so this is all algae. So like that pink stuff, that pink algae.
So
Or what is that?
This is biological filtration. So this is where, you know, like I said, with, you know, bioballs and freshwater setups, beneficial bacteria grows there and eats the waste. So
Okay.
essentially, I believe algae is the beneficial bacteria in the saltwater aquarium world. So then we run
on
down
this side,
here.
we didn't even see that on there. So look at that. That thing's cool.
Isn't that crazy? Supposedly
Yeah.
that's like really expensive now because of how big it is. But when I got it, it was tiny.
How big was it when you got it?
I mean, just like probably the size of a
Wow.
little clementine.
All right, and then we're gonna. Oh, so here we are.
So we got protein skimmer. As you can see, it's working.
That's
very
that's
well.
gross.
So you gotta just unhook that, take it out, and then filter
How
it.
often do you have to do that?
Once
more than
every
you
week
should.
week or two. What?
Probably more than you do. And then what do we got over here?
So you got a UV sterilizer that just kind of runs through there, just helps kill whatever's in the water. 2 pumps back up to each side, and this is the overflow. So whenever the sump down here gets low, this will just pump it.
So that's salt water in there?
No, this is fresh water.
That's fresh water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So how many gallons are under the tank? I mean, you said 750 above, but what do you think? Because a lot of people don't realize, and for me, I didn't really realize that much, is the water you see, there's a lot more that you don't see.
Yeah, so there's probably about 200 gallons, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Because I mean, even for me, I see this beautiful tank, I'm like, wow, that's awesome, but you don't realize that there's so much going, kind of like life. You can, or even on YouTube, there's beautiful thing in front of you, and then all the actual crap in there.
All the work, behind it. But yeah, so this is also set up so, you know, let's say the power goes out, even though there's a generator here, if the power goes out, this will hold all the water, because obviously this is an overflow system, so when this all drains, this needs to be big enough to hold all that water, not just spill out through the house.
Okay. And there's cool stuff on this side too. Look
Yeah, those
at
are all
that.
anemones. So you can see the giant carpet anemone here, which is a pain in the butt because he keeps moving all the time.
What do you mean move? For those people
move.
that don't have, I mean, you
That is
tell
a
me
lot.
that this thing just gets up and walks?
Yes,
That thing walks?
That thing literally was down here, walked up here, and wanted to stay up here, so we had to move the acropore.
What's that
coral,
for?
the green one.
Yeah.
We had to move that because he was up top. We had to move him down there because this guy just kept moving. Every time we would move him back here, he'd move back up. So essentially, they just like to find a spot. He was happy down here for like 6 months, and then he's like, no, this is better.
And anemones eat fish, right?
Yes.
When you feed them fish, they're living, they're carnivorous.
So I actually
and
feed them minnows once a week.
And you see all the clownfish in there. So cool thing is they're, what's mutual beneficial, or they...
symbiotic relationship.
yeah, symbiotic. So the clownfish can actually move through there without getting eaten.
So the clownfish are protected in the anemone because it'll sting pretty much every other fish. But also the clownfish feed the anemone.
Yeah, and we'll learn that on Finding Nemo as well. So,
So
that's
now
what we
this
got.
is a dosing system. So we got magnesium.
A dosing?
Yep, magnesium, calcium, and ALK. I don't know what that is.
Alkaline?
But yeah, but alkaline is more of just like the water conditions.
Oh.
So what that does, it probably is just alkaline. But what it does is it puts minerals and whatnot in the water, and that's what the coral feeds off of. So
What's
this-
important in the food?
So this is essentially feeding the coral.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So it's a dosing system. So you can see it runs down here, and then it's a programmed here to dump into the overflow. It just doses the aquarium.
I mean,
with
this is
proper
pretty
nutrients.
freaking elaborate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what?
So these are all the pumps.
Okay. So they're all in separate, like, timer
Heaters.
things?
Yep. And up here, there's
There's
ventilation
more?
fans. a battery backup system, so even if it shuts off for a little bit, you know, the system doesn't shut down. And again, all these lights up here.
Yeah, the whole show lights again. They're like black lights.
Yep. And also, what's cool is if you dump a bunch of food on the anemone, he'll actually eat it. And they actually move a lot. Like you can see right here, that's not just a current, that's him actually moving.
Oh, okay, so that's, huh. So then are they like a giant mussel then?
They really are. Yeah, it really is, because like he went over to the overflow one time, and I had to peel him off, and it really does feel like it's muscles under there. It's crazy.
So do they have a foot like a snail?
Look at that, see?
Okay, yeah.
See how he just sticks to it? You see that?
Yeah.
Now, if I didn't have a glove on, he'd be seeing me, and that's why I'm wearing gloves. You know, I don't just walk around all the time wearing gloves.
And what do you mean stinging? Like a bee sting or like a electric?
Yeah, like a bee sting almost.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, apparently they're really bad.
So they have like
the guy that takes care of the tank, he says he's been stung a bunch of times before, and it.
Why don't you just take the glove off and we'll do some education. Just get zapped and we'll see.
Here, look, if you can look here. If you can get the glares, there it is. So you see the mouth right there? That's the mouth of the anemone. So when you stick minnows on here, he'll actually funnel it all the way back into his green mouth there. Oh, now he's covering it up. And that's how he eats.
Oh yeah, he's moving.
Is he?
Well, right there,
Yeah.
So you're telling me that's not the current, that's him?
That's the current a little bit, but I mean that's him. You can see the current is blowing this way. See that vent there? That's blowing him there. But you'll see, like, see on the back side, see how it's coming up?
Oh yeah.
See on this over there? On the far top left side?
Yeah, that's him moving.
That's him moving. See that coming up?
Wow.
That's him.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you see everything's really taken off. I mean, there's bubble anemone over here.
Bubble anemone?
Yeah, the bubble anemone. Because these were all tiny little microscopic pieces, and then they just exploded.
Yeah, I mean, this thing looks awesome.
Yeah, it's coming along. Still looking for, obviously there's a lot of fish I want to get as far as like blue hippo tangs. Just a lot of the rarer stuff, but I'm sticking to rehome or captive bred. They started to breed captive blue hippo tang, but it's extremely few and far between. So it's one of those things, if you right time, right place, and you can get one, or you just wait and try to find one that
and he's all closed up
is looking
now.
for a new home. But a lot of times people get rid of them because they're eating coral, because rarely they will eat coral, and obviously that's not one that I want. So yeah, you can see how he's just molding all up, because what he's doing is, remember when we dumped all the food there? So it all fell, and now he's just kind of clamping it all down and moving it towards his mouth. And you can see the backside of him, which is crazy looking. Actually, all right guys, well thanks for watching a little bit of the non-reptile parts of my place.
Yeah, and if you like today's video, and if you want to see more fish, actually just let us know, drop a comment, like the video, but actually like it anyways, make sure you subscribe. Check us out on Instagram at Primitive Predators, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.